The Columbia River, as it flows peacefully past the communities of Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland in southeastern Washington. It's the scene this weekend for the 57th running of the Columbia Cup here for H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. Hello again, race fans. This is Brad Luce, and I'm standing in the Neil F. Lamson pit area. I've got a pit area full of race boats. We are going to go racing this weekend and crown a champion in the Tri-Cities of Washington for the 57th time. There are a lot of stories around this year's H1 Unlimited season. We've had two races already back east. The weather was a big factor in both of those races, although we did get through them and crown some champions despite having not yet completed a final heat. We think we're going to get that in this weekend. We've got our largest fleet of H1 Unlimited hydroplanes in the pit area right now. We've got 8 boats here. There is a 9th boat on its way, so we should have a field of 9 boats, and there are a lot of stories behind me here in the pit area. We've got new boats. We've got a new national high points leader. We've got new sponsors. We've got 3 boats that are returning from being heavily damaged back east. We've got a couple of drivers that hope to get qualified this weekend. It's going to be an action-packed weekend on the Columbia River. Let's go for a walk. Let's see who's here. If we see somebody, some personalities, we'll grab a comment along the way. Follow me. So we walk up the ramp from the river here, and the first boat we run across is our U11. Our U11, the Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Truss Company, and I mentioned down on the dock that we've got a new national high points leader right now, and by the slimmest of margins, got boat owner Scott Rainey right here. 1 point, my friend, but you know what? It only takes one.
Yeah, that's all it takes right now. But yeah, it's pretty exciting for our team. It's kind of, we haven't been in this position, and you know, it's great. We have support from Legend Yacht Transport, and here in Tri-Cities, the Truss Company coming on board to support us. It's great. We're excited. I cannot wait to race.
I'm sure you can't. And I have to believe you have enjoyed the last 3 weeks.
No, I haven't. We've worked our butts off. We need to get faster. There's some guys down the beach that are still a little bit faster than us, and we've worked really hard to try to become a little bit faster. So.
It's actually what you would expect out of this guy. Take everything in stride. Congratulations so far. We'll look forward to a great weekend of racing.
Oh, I can't wait. There's a lot of fast boats here, and it's going to be really, really good racing, and hopefully we can put this boat out front. The U11's worked really hard, and you know, we're excited. We're excited to be here. The weather's awesome. The fans are awesome. We just can't wait.
Nobody can say you haven't earned this position. Good luck this weekend, Scott Rainey. We'll be talking.
Thank you.
All right, Scott Rainey, owner of the U11. Legend Yacht Transport, presented by the Truss Company. This boat, if you haven't seen it on the water yet, it is absolutely gorgeous. Chartreuse, royal blue with some red trim. Got local sponsorship help here from the Truss Company. They came on board for this weekend. Glad to have them. Legend Yacht Transport, the U11. So I mentioned we've got a 9-boat field this weekend. We've got 8 boats that are in the pit area right now. We're awaiting the arrival of the U12, the Graham Trucking, which will be joining our fleet. For the first time in 2 years, it will be good to have them back. I talked a little bit about rookie drivers trying to get qualified. We've got a couple of them, and here's the first one we can talk about. Brent Hall handles the driving duties of the U440, the Boitano Homes. And you see there on the, right here above the sponson, you see the Obliteride. And we pointed that out during the test session. Driver Brent Hall, very much involved with Fred Hutchinson and cancer research. He's got a whole story about that, and it is a good one. Brent Hall hoped to get qualified in Guntersville, Alabama. It didn't happen. He needs exactly 7 more laps, 4 of which need to be north of 130 miles an hour. I fully expect we're going to see this boat hanging over the water at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and they'll be trying to get those laps in a hurry. Everybody will be rooting for Brent Hall. Big story there. When he gets qualified, he will be the first African-American driver in H1 Unlimited history. That's a big deal. He fully understands how big of an issue and how big of a deal that will be. We will be talking to Mr. Hall. Another big story on a lot of fronts. is the U40, the Bucket List Racing, but suddenly gone is the Tennessee Orange, although I see an awful lot of it still on the trailer down there. But now we have a new, very large sponsor in Flavor Pack. Frozen Fruits and Vegetables has come on board to sponsor the U40. The boat was just recently wrapped. Driver Dustin Eccles will be taking this boat out for the first time with the Flavor Pack monitor on the side. But I mentioned earlier that we had boats that had been damaged while they were back east. This one probably more so, well, maybe, than some of the others. They had a very frightening blowover accident in the final heat in Madison, Indiana on the Ohio River. Basically broke the boat at the back of the boat when it re-entered the water and landed. Dustin Eccles was shaken up a bit, but he is fine. So a lot going on here with the U40. There is no crew that has worked any harder than the crew of the U40. Now the Flavor Pack, Frozen Fruits and Vegetables. Look for these guys to be a player this weekend. Looking to see if we've got any guys from the team around here. Maybe we can walk over here and see if we can get either Taylor Evans or we can get Kelly Stockland, boat owner. How you doing, my friend? Welcome back to the Tri-Cities.
Yes, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Nice to be back here.
Yes, it is. We did very well last time we were here.
Well, talk to me a little bit about the Herculean effort that you, your crew, everybody did to put this boat back together and be here.
Oh boy, that's a long story. I had several key individuals that took the lead, and then we had team members pairing up with them, and each one took a piece of the job, and I just let them go. And they all just kind of blended together, just like the last time we crashed the thing and put it together the last time.
Well, I remember when you had your accident here a year ago, and then we saw the boat pull into the pit area in Seattle, and I went up and said, congratulations to you, and you said, I didn't do anything. These guys did it all. It really is all about that crew.
It is. It is. The crew that we have is an amazing bunch, and I just let them go do it. If you just let them go, they'll get it done.
Get the right people and empower them.
Exactly. That's how it works.
Now, the other big change over there, gone's the Tennessee Orange on the boat. Looks really good. Tell me about the new sponsor.
Well, that was an interesting phone call that I got. There's a man named Steve Lamson that's out trying to help H1 with sponsorships, and he came up with this sponsorship and called me and asked me if I wanted it, and I said, of course. Mr. Teagues is a very, very large fan of drag racing and is knee deep in it with the Force Racing Group, and we'd like to emulate that as best we can.
Well, so it's going to be obviously a very big weekend for you here this weekend, and we got the APBA Gold Cup next weekend, but we'll take them one at a time. Good luck this weekend, my friend, and congratulations to you and your entire team for getting it here.
Yes, well, we'll see how well it runs tomorrow, okay?
I'm sure we will, and we'll be watching. Kelly Stockland right here, boat owner, along with wife Sharon. Thanks, Kelly. All right, let's go for a walk down here, and we'll find a couple of boats that make up the racing stable of Strong Racing. Been a big story over the years, the last couple of years, with Darrell Strong's involvement in the sport, but they've been a little bit quiet as far as new news and so forth this year, although we have the new sponsorship on the boat that they've been running with back east at the first two races. We have the Beacon Plumbing on the right. That is the white boat, the U9. Corey Peabody returns to drive that one this year. The bright red boat this year, the Beacon Electric, J. Michael Kelly's ride. And he has been very, very solid in that boat this year. It appears from my standpoint and what I'm seeing on the water, the boat is running much better than it did a year ago. I talked about the two races back east. These were the two boats that claimed victory. In Guntersville, in the case of the U9, it was J. Michael Kelly. In the Indiana Governor's Cup on the Ohio River in the U8. So a couple of boats here that are very, very strong. They are ready to go. There was some damage to the Beacon Plumbing, the U9 in Madison. They broke the strut in one of their heats of competition when the boat spun out down in the lower corner, a lower corner that has bit a lot of boats over the years, and it bit the U9. One thing about this boat, though, if you take that little mishap out of the mix, So far, nobody has solved the puzzle of Corey Peabody in the U9. If they've finished a heat, they've been ahead of everybody. Look for them to be very, very strong. And this is a boat that was not here a year ago. This is a boat that crashed violently in Madison, Indiana in 2022. They worked all through the rest of last year and through the off season to bring back this piece, and it is back stronger than ever. The red one, U8, Beacon Electric, driven by J. Michael Kelly. The white one, U9, Corey Peabody in the Beacon Plumbing. Couple of hot ones. So we'll go for a walk down here. We have an open spot in the pit area coming up here. I believe that's where they will pit the U12. That will be the Graham Trucking. Another good story here. We're talking about a rookie driver, never been behind the wheel of an H1 Unlimited. That will be Bobby King, and if you follow the smaller boats, if you happen to watch Valleyfield a couple of weeks ago, he was a second time in a row champion up at Valleyfield. He knows his way around the race course, and if that last name of King sounds familiar, it should. His dad, Jimmy King, is the driver of the U3. The Griggs presents Miss Ace Hardware. I haven't mentioned the U3 Griggs, and I won't make him turn his camera all the way down, but they are all the way down at the other end of the pit area, but that is another boat that is here, the piston boat, certainly a fan favorite. The U3, the Griggs presents Ace Hardware. Jimmy King will be behind the wheel. Ed Cooper has his boat here from Evansville, Indiana. So it's always nice to walk down here because my cameraman friend and I get to stand underneath some shade of Bernie's tree. And if you've never been to the race course in the Tri-Cities and you come here for the first time, it is worth getting a pit pass and coming down here and checking out this tree. There's a long story there. A lot of people can fill you in on this story and let you know how it all came to be Bernie's tree. But the bottom line is shade is at a premium in the Tri-Cities. And when Bernie Little and the Miss Budweiser team retired from racing, the Water Follies had to decide who was going to determine, or what was going to determine, who would be able to pit in the shade underneath Bernie's tree. They decided the winner of the previous year would earn that honor. Now we get to talk about these two boats. Here is last year's winner, the powder blue and white Miss Home Street. Jimmy Shane was the driver a year ago. He claimed victory here in the Columbia Cup, therefore winning the right for that team to park under Bernie's tree. However, Jimmy Shane retired in the offseason. We've got a rookie driver here now in his first year in the Unlimiteds, and he is doing very, very well, I might add. His name is Dylan Runny. That is him walking up on the deck of the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. Looking into the cockpit there, Dylan Runny. He will handle the driving chores of the U8, excuse me, the U1, the Miss Home Street. So we'll walk over here a little further, and again, we were talking about boats that sustained damage along the way. We go to the second boat here from Miss Madison Racing. It's Miss Madison that owns the Miss Home Street. They also own this particular hull, the U91, the Miss Goodman Real Estate. And returning to the Unlimited Wars in 2023 is a very familiar name, that being Andrew Tate, and that would be Mr. Tate sitting up there in the cockpit. He looks over and smiles at us. Hello, Andrew, and it's good to have him back. It's good to have this boat back. I was talking about boats that had damage back east and issues that had to be fixed. These guys suffered a blowover. Again, in the final heat in Guntersville, the boat went over and then was impacted from behind by the trailer boat that was the U40 Bucket List Racing. There was extensive damage to this particular hydroplane. So much, though, that the boat had to skip the event on home waters in Madison, Indiana, but they are here. They are ready to go. Andrew, you ready to go? Andrew's always ready. He is always ready. You talk about fresh off of wins in Valleyfield. That guy just is fresh off a big win up in Valleyfield at all. So that rounds out the boats that are here in the pit area. We only got to see 6 of them because there's, we only got to see 7 of them. There are 8 in the pit area, but the U3 is all the way down at the other end. We're not going to walk all the way down there. We are awaiting the arrival of the U12, the Graham Trucking. That will be driven by rookie and unqualified driver Bobby King. Anxious to see him out on the water tomorrow. So there is going to be a lot of activity on the water. We've got a couple of drivers that want to get qualified. They're going to want to do that early and get it done. And the big discussion about the racing season in 2023 has been one word, and it's been Parity. We had some issues with weather back east, but one thing we did not have an issue with, and that was good competition and parity. Some of the best deck-to-deck racing I've ever seen. I expect fully we are going to continue that here on the beautiful waters of the Columbia River. Should be a wonderful boat race this weekend. It is Thursday evening. The course will open tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 8 a.m. We will start our testing, lead to qualifying, and then racing for the 57th Tri-City Water Follies Columbia Cup. We will have all of the action for you on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel. Dial us up. If there is a boat on the water, we'll have it covered for you. Until then, this is Brad Luce from the Neil F. Lamson pit area underneath the shade of Bernie's tree saying so long. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. We'll be on the dock watching boats run. Good night, everybody.